4 cadets died inside an empty barracks. On paper, they walked away. In reality, the case was quietly buried like it never existed, but there was one problem. The truth had been sitting in an archive the whole time, with names, with dates, and with the identity of the man who sold them out. 82 years later, an old building was scheduled for demolition. And a diary was found that was never meant to survive. And here's the part that still doesn't make sense. 7 hours before the discovery, a call came in. "Ms. Sarah, you need to see this, right now." The construction manager's voice was shaking. Not like a man calling about work, but like someone asking for help. Anna Sarah, a historical archivist and the great-granddaughter of one of the missing cadets, dropped everything and arrived within 20 minutes. They were demolishing an old structure, Ridgeway Military Academy, Pennsylvania. A World War II-era training school, damp brick, heavy doors, hallways where echoes sound like footsteps. The manager met her at the fence and said only one thing: "We found a wall, a fake one." Behind a section of brick that looked new for the 1940s, there was plaster, boards, and a hollow space, a sealed room. The old door opened with a long, stretched-out groan, like it didn't want to give up its secrets. Anna stepped inside, and for a second, forgot how to breathe. 4 bunks, perfectly made, personal items on the nightstands, buried under thick dust, and a diary on the desk by the window. Open to the final entry, like someone left it there yesterday. Anna picked it up with trembling hands. She recognized her great-grandfather's handwriting instantly. Date: December 14, 1942. I, Nicholas Sarah, write this in case we do not survive. There are 4 of us, me, William Fraser, Edward Parker, and Michael O'Neill. Tonight, we are supposed to disappear. Commandant Harrison says it's an order from military counterintelligence. Captain Miller promised to save us. Sergeant Ward knows a hidden route. I don't trust anyone anymore. If you're reading this, Mom, know that I loved you until my last breath. Anna's eyes burned. Her great-grandfather vanished in December 1942, along with 3 other cadets. The official story: desertion. Their families never learned the truth. Anna stood in a dusty room in Pennsylvania, holding the living voice of a man labeled a coward for 82 years. Footsteps echoed in the hallway, slow, heavy, and the distinct tap of a cane. "You're Anna Sarah?" a raspy voice asked. In the doorway stood a very old woman, leaning on a wooden cane. Thin as paper, but her eyes were clear too sharp for her age. "My name is Martha Keller. I'm 104. I worked here as a cleaner. When I heard they were tearing the building down, I came to tell what I saw that night." Anna guided her to the only chair that hadn't collapsed. Martha's breathing was rough, but her voice was steady, like she'd rehearsed this story for a lifetime, waiting for someone to finally listen. "I didn't sleep that night. My teeth were killing me. I sat by the window in the supply room, and I saw everything. First came Commandant Harrison, around 10 p.m. Tall, gray, walking like a dead man. A month earlier he got the telegram. His son was killed overseas. He went into the barracks. Stayed 20 minutes, came out alone. I remember thinking, why is the commandant here so late on a Sunday? Then, around 11, I saw Captain Miller. Young, 28, he limped from a war injury. The cadets adored him. He didn't feed them fairy tales, he told the truth." Anna swallowed. What happened next? Miller let out 4 cadets. "I recognized your great-grandfather Nicholas, good boy, and William. The one whose father had a reputation people whispered about. Edward an orphan, quiet, and Michael always cheerful, always with a harmonica." Miller took them toward the supply buildings, the warehouses. Anna frowned. "Why the warehouses? That's where Sergeant Ward worked. I saw Ward near midnight, digging by the storage shed. There were shovels. I thought December, frozen ground. What could he even be digging?" Martha paused, like she was pulling the worst detail out of memory, and there was another man. Not in uniform. Tall, light hair. Ward was speaking with him. Not in English. Anna's face tightened. "You're sure?" "I'm sure. My mother was from a German community. I knew the language. I heard the word Victoria several times. And something like, Finnish." Anna flipped the diary back. December 3rd, I heard Captain Miller arguing with the commandant. Miller walked out pale as death. He told us, prepare for the worst. December 7th, William followed Sergeant Ward. Says Ward steals supplies. But Ward also feeds us when rations are late. He's strange. December 10th, the commandant gathered the four of us. He shouted about disgrace, defeatist talk. His son died, and we dare question victory. December 11th, William saw Ward with the same civilian man near the old warehouses. They exchanged papers. December 12th, William wrote a report on Ward. Ward intercepted it. That night William found a note. Stay quiet, or everyone learns about your father. Martha grabbed Anna's wrist. Her fingers were cold, metallic. I heard a gunshot. One shot, dull, like it came from underground, around midnight. And in the morning, Ward was the first to raise the alarm. The cadets were gone. And here's what was strange. There was blood on his sleeve, fresh blood. Anna felt the cold climb her spine. That's when her phone rang, blocked number. But the label on the screen said, FBI Historical Records Unit. Ms. Sarah, regarding your request about December 1942, we located a file on German saboteurs. A group of 12 was scheduled to meet an agent on the academy grounds on December 14th. Meeting password, Victoria Finish. Commander of the group, Hauptmann Wolf. And one more thing. Did you find anything with the letters VF among the cadets' belongings? Anna froze. Between the diary pages. A dried leaf, and faint Latin letters. VF, I found it, she whispered. Then it means one thing, the agent said. There was a German agent inside this academy, and based on the access required. It had to be someone who could open doors without keys. Outside, snow started falling. Big flakes, slow, like 82 years ago. Anna turned to Martha. That civilian man. Did you ever see him again? Martha nodded. After the war. He worked at the local draft office. They called him Major Walker. But I recognized him immediately. Same manners, same walk, and he recognized me. In 1950 he approached me and said, the war is over, Martha, forget what you saw. Or your granddaughter ends up in an orphanage. I had a little granddaughter then. Her parents were gone, so I stayed silent. Anna went deeper into the Academy's surviving records. A document dated December 12th, a denunciation of the four cadets. Anti-American talk, doubting victory, undermining morale. The signature was smeared, but the Academy stamp was sharp. Order, detained until December 16th, so they were about to be arrested. But in Commandant Harrison's personal files, Anna found an unsent request. Replace detention with frontline deployment. They're young. They'll prove themselves in combat. Anna built the case like a crime board in her head. Faces, motives, threads. Captain Miller, who despised the system after his brother died in a camp, left a note on December 13th. I'll save those boys at any cost. I won't let the machine eat for more. And Sergeant Ward, 35 years old. Never deployed, classified as essential. And the supply logs showed a glaring anomaly. 12 extra ration packs in November and December. Where did the food go? Anna stepped outside. Snow squeaked under her boots, leaving sharp tracks. A distant siren wailed, like the town itself was remembering. Then the construction manager shouted, Ms. Sarah. We found something else, in the basement. A rusted stairwell dropped into darkness. Down below, in flashlight beams, a sealed passage. Old cement, crumbling. We broke through, the manager whispered. There's a shelter, and remains. Water dripped inside. Drip, drip, drip. A metronome made of time. Anna climbed down, and the light revealed something the mind tries to reject. 4 bodies in cadet uniforms, seated against the wall. And a 5th body, in an officer's coat. Anna exhaled. Captain Miller. The forensic specialist nodded. Looks like it. Miller was shot point blank. The cadets died of suffocation. The ventilation was sealed. Scratches covered the wall. Someone carved. Ward locked us in. The German was with him. Anna staggered back. Ward and the German, the same civilian Martha saw. In one cadet's pocket, a shaky note. We are dying. Sergeant Ward is a traitor. He brought a German officer. Captain Miller tried to protect us. Ward shot him. The German said he needed our documents for the saboteurs. If you find this, know the truth. Signed, William Fraser. Anna demanded original logs. A hospital register claimed Ward visited an injured friend on December 14th, but under ultraviolet light, erasures appeared. The original date was December 13th. He made himself an alibi, Anna whispered. And the ration logs match, 12 extra packs. Food for 12 saboteurs. Ward hid them in the academy. Fed them, prepared the operation. Anna called the FBI again. Check Major Walker. I think he was the German. The reply came fast. Like someone else had been waiting. Walker appears in records only in 1946, nothing before, a perfect legend. He supervised archives until 1987, reported dead in 1989. But here's the anomaly. Every file about December 1940 to pass through him. Many went missing. The picture turned crystal clear, horrifyingly clear. Ward and Hauptmann Wolf worked together. The plan: eliminate the cadets who suspected something, and hand their documents to the saboteurs. But why so elaborate? Anna reopened the diary and found a line she'd missed. December 11th. Michael vanished for 2 hours. He came back different. Later he cried. He said, "We're going to die." I saw Germans in Ward's basement. Michael saw them. On an old academy photo, Anna noticed a detail. A second basement exit leading to the Allegheny River. On modern blueprints, it didn't exist. Bricked up, then footsteps in the archive hallway. A man with a cane stood in the doorway. "You're looking for the truth about December 42. Who are you?" "I'm Commandant Harrison's son. I'm 95. Before my father died, he told me something. He knew Ward was a traitor, but he couldn't prove it. Someone high up protected Ward, Major Walker." The old man pulled out a yellowed envelope. "My father hid this." A photograph dated December 13, 1942. Ward and the civilian at the warehouse. Light hair, hard features. On the back, proof of betrayal. Keep until better times. Why didn't he use it? In 1950 Walker came to our home. He said, "You have a photo. And I have papers saying your son collaborated with Germans in captivity." A lie. But who would challenge it? My father gave up the negatives. He kept only this print. Anna lifted her eyes. "So Walker was Wolf?" The man nodded. "Yes." Hauptmann Wolf became Major Walker. At that moment Martha rushed in, gasping. "Anna, I remembered, that night. There was someone else, Michael. I saw him near the river around 3 a.m. crawling through snow, covered in blood. Then he disappeared." Anna froze. "He survived." Martha nodded. Anna checked records. Michael O'Neill was labeled a deserter. But there was a clue. Someone with his data collected a pension in Montana until 1995. He lived 50 years under his own name. Then Anna's phone rang again. A known number. Anna Sero. "I know what you're looking for. Michael O'Neill is alive. He's 99. He's dying. He wants to tell the truth. You'll get the address by text." Anna drove to a small Montana town, a wooden house on the edge of nowhere. The door opened with a groan, the same sound as the sealed room. In a chair by the window sat an ancient man, blue eyes, pain that time can't treat. "Anna Sero, Nicholas's granddaughter. You have his eyes. Sit down. Listen. You're really Michael?" "Yes, I survived hell. And I stayed silent for 82 years. Now I'm dying. Cancer. 5 days, maybe? I'll tell you everything." He coughed. Blood touched his lip. On December 11th, Ward took me to the warehouse. Germans were in the basement, 12 of them. Ward told them in German, "This is one of the cadets. On the 14th you'll get the documents of all 4. I pretended not to understand. He let me go. "Did you tell your friends?" "Only William. He wrote a report." Ward intercepted it. Then he filed a denunciation against us. And on December 14th, Captain Miller learned about our detention. He decided to save us. At night he led us to the shelter. He said, "Hide here until morning. Then I'll get you to partisans." But Ward was waiting inside. With him was the German, the saboteur commander. Ward said, "Plans changed, Captain." And he shot Miller in the back. We ran. The door slammed. Locked. The German came down to check. He saw we were still alive. He screamed at Ward, "You promised me corpses." They fought. The German hit his head and passed out. Ward panicked. He ran out. He locked the door. He sealed the ventilation. Michael's hands tightened like he was gripping metal again. I knew about an old drainage tunnel to the river. My grandfather once showed me the grate. I broke it open. I told the others to crawl after me. But they were already suffocating. Nicholas rasped, "Run, Michael. We'll write the truth," and they did. They scratched it into the wall with their nails. I crawled through the tunnel, and behind me my friends died. I got out by the river. I tried to come back with help, but Ward had already bricked the exit. He called us deserters, and I couldn't speak. She recorded every word, because sometimes facts are the only way to survive a story like this. "Why did you stay silent?" she asked. Who would believe a cadet over a sergeant? Then fear, then survivor's shame. I had a family. But every night I saw their faces. Michael handed her an old notebook page. I tore this from Nicholas's diary while crawling out. I wanted to save something. Anna read, December 13th, we're doomed. Fraser saw Ward with the Germans. The denunciation is written. We'll be detained. If anyone finds this, no, we were not deserters. We were victims of a traitor in uniform. Michael gave her an envelope. I photographed Ward and Walker for years. Meetings. Proof. One photo near a veteran's memorial. Walker's salute just slightly wrong, a gesture a trained expert would recognize. Anna left the house holding not paper, but an 82-year-old grenade. The FBI reopened the case, and then the truth detonated. Major Walker's death in 1989 was forged. In a private veterans facility near Washington, D.C., a man lived under the name Victor Walker, age 102. Listed as an intelligence veteran, the arrest was quiet. He didn't resist. When they showed him the 1942 photo, he smirked. 82 years. Not bad for a legend. He confessed. He was Hauptmann Wolf. The operation was called Northern Wind. Ward was recruited in 1941. Classic blackmail. A brother in a POW camp. A family under threat. The mission was simple. Remove the cadets who suspected something. Use their papers for the saboteur team. What went wrong? They asked. Ward panicked. Wolf said. He wanted to suffocate them instead of finishing quickly. We had no time. We fought. I blacked out. When I woke up, bodies. Why stay here after the war? Wolf shrugged, like it was small talk. Going back to Germany meant trial. Ward offered documents. I became Major Walker. The irony, a German spy climbed a career ladder inside someone else's system. And the cadets, he shrugged again. Collateral damage. War demands sacrifices, and I couldn't hold it. They were 18. And, Wolf said, millions died. 4. 5 if you count the captain. A drop. The trial was closed. Victor Walker received life. He died a month later in prison medical care. But not before naming dozens of connected operatives. Michael O'Neill lived long enough to hear the verdict. He died with one sentence, "Now I can go." And then something happened that almost never happens in stories like this. Truth didn't just surface, it became national memory. On December 15, 2024, exactly 82 years after the night, a military cemetery in Pennsylvania held a reburial ceremony. 5 fresh graves, for cadets, and Captain Miller. Hundreds of people, a flag, a salute, a minute of silence. Anna stood in the front row holding the diary. Relatives came from across the U.S. and Canada. The Secretary of Defense said, these young men were victims of betrayal. For 82 years they were labeled deserters. Today we restore justice. The names were read aloud. Nicholas Serro, William Fraser, Edward Parker, Michael O'Neill, Captain James Miller. Anna was given the microphone. She opened the diary to the final line and spoke without theatrics. Because real grief doesn't need volume. Mom, if you're reading this, know that I loved you until my last breath. Those words waited 82 years to be heard. And when Anna stepped back, people weren't crying because it was sad. They were crying because now it was clear. They didn't run. They were murdered. Lies were convenient. Truth was heavy, but truth always returns. Sometimes as a diary. Sometimes as the voice of a cleaner who stayed silent for a lifetime. Sometimes as the last call of a man who survived, but didn't truly live. And if you think archives are just dust, sometimes in that dust, there's a traitor's name and a timer that's been ticking for 82 years.